Hey everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. I'm trying to stay subdued so my dogs don't get all riled up. Hello, how are you? Today is, what is it, Thursday already? Oh my gosh. Today's Thursday, and so we are going to be working on a design space file that actually, yes, that actually is kind of one of my favorites. And I'm so excited to talk to you about it. You were in the video, Shirley? Good morning. Sending me some sunshine, Shelley, even though we are overcast here. We got a lot of rain from Ida. Okay, relax, relax, relax. We got a lot of rain from Ida over the overnight, and it's still kind of overcast, and I'm sure places that are used to seeing floods are seeing floods. And one of the things I heard on the news this morning was don't drown, turn around. Turn around, don't drown. That's what they're trying to tell people. So if you're on the way to see like a water flooding kind of area, instead of trying to make it through, if you want to avoid drowning, which I think drowning, I'm sorry, I always put a D on the end of drowning. You should turn around. Turn around, don't drown. Okay, so not to make light of it, but I'm just trying to remember it in that. So I hope you're all well. It's Thursday. We're going to be working on a really fun design space program, and we're also going to be talking about tomorrow, which is Freebie Friday, and Saturday, which is our 3D date night. So we're going to mention that as soon as I get going here. I wanted to say hello. Hope you're all well. I hope, Ida hasn't, I'm wondering about Aladra. I haven't heard from her, so I'm hoping that she's okay. They said the folks in the New Orleans area will be out of power for some time, but thankfully not a ton of lost life, which was crazy 15 years ago with Katrina. So I don't know, this weather, things have just kind of been crazy. Yeah, the pumpkins. So yes, Shirley's been sending me images of pumpkins that she's going to, or her variations of the pumpkins. We're going to be doing this is the pumpkin right here that we're going to be doing this Saturday. It's rather large. I have made it before. I am going to attempt to make it smaller as well. I don't know if that's going to work or not. It is from svgcuts.com, and it is a paid file. You do have to buy it. It is $4.99 if you buy it separately, or if you want it as a kit, which the kit's really nice. It has a beautiful pumpkin box card, which I've made before, and it's gorgeous. It has all of those sunflower, so you can make a sunflower wreath. Also, I've made that before. A beautiful bag with a sunflower attached. And then this little cart, which I have not made. That's the only thing out of this set that I have not made. But we're going to focus on doing the pumpkin itself. It's big and it's really showy and really interesting. So I love doing this. So we're gonna take some time and do that on Saturday for date night. Okay, so that's a paid file. But on Friday, we have Freebie Friday. So we are going to head on over to Simply Crafty SVGs. It's just how it's said, simplycraftysvgs.com. And we're going to check out their free SVG files here, and this is the one that we're going to grab and upload to Design Space for tomorrow. It's a takeout box, and I'm going to show you a few variations on how to do it. I like that there's a handle on this and a cutout. It doesn't necessarily have to be autumn, but I kind of like the design, and so we'll talk about variations as well. I just think this time of year I end up starting baking more, and so this is going to be perfect for baking, and I might decide not to have this hole here and put either acetate or Benji's into something, but I don't want to rile him up. It sounds like he's really into something though. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow, Freebie Friday, we're doing this Simply Crafty SVGs, this free file called the Autumn Takeout Box. And then on Saturday, if you join us on Saturday, we're going to be doing this pumpkin. And you know what? If you don't want to attempt it, it is a big file and it might get overwhelming to you. So if you just want to come and enjoy the company of others, then do that. We love having company. So you don't feel the need to purchase it if you just want to come and watch the show and see me struggle with it. All right. So today, Lola's fine. She was real quiet all day yesterday after their fight, and Benji's quiet. Anyway, he's always quiet, but he's the rascal, I think, that gets into everything. I know. I don't say I think. Teddy Bear is very motivated by food and love. That's all he cares about. Food, love. That's it. So you don't ever have to really worry about him unless he eats something bad. But Benji is the curious one, and I think that's sort of, they're having a little power play, as Kirsten had mentioned. They're having a little power play. And I don't know, they just got really riled up right under my feet yesterday, but hopefully that will not happen today. All right, so let's have a look at these. Food and love. Yeah, Nikki. Yeah, sort of me too. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he was talking about his age and how at this point in his life, and he's in his 50s, like all he cares about is, very few things he doesn't care about too much at his age. And I said, well, yeah, I think that's the age and everything. I said, for me, all I care about is food and travel. But I can't travel. I ain't got the money to travel, and food can't eat at this age because with the middle age, everything ends up in your, around your waist kind of thing. So, travel and food. Food and love. Yeah, I guess love too. Okay, so let's talk about these calendars. So this calendar, which was designed for 2020, is a very intricate calendar. I'm going to show you where to find them. I actually already posted, I posted my my rework of this. So this file of 4 months that are the next 4 months of 2021. So September, October, November, December. We're going to talk about how I did that, but I want to show you where you can find it. As if you guys are interested in this, in moving this into 2022, I could do the next 4 months, like January, February, March, April, if that's useful to you. I don't know what Cricut's going to have up their sleeve for calendars for this year. They should start showing up. They usually do 2 different ones, okay? So here's where I got them. So I went to images, and under all images, I'm going to my favorite place in the world, image sets, right here under highlighted categories, image sets, okay? And I'm just going to type in calendar. because I want you to see all the different calendars that are out there. So for this year, these were the calendars. They're kind of like insert cards, but you can do them on your Explorer or your Maker, and very simple. They have a lot of writing on them and some cut out, and it's really just 2 sheets of paper. And I made these last year, and they are very simple and cute, and I actually have one in my kitchen. They also added this one, which is a flip calendar, and I have not made this one. I probably will, but I'm not really sure when, maybe for next year, I don't know. And then going backwards, there's 2019 and then 2020, and then here is the file that I am talking about. So this is called Seasoned Calendar 2020, okay? Which I absolutely adore. Each month is its own little scene and cut out on paper. They're just so beautiful. January especially. Last year when I did this before I got sick, I did January and February and March, but then I didn't get any further than that. This also comes with here. This is the way that you can display this. It's like a trifold, and it creates like a tent that you would put each month on. I haven't made that even, but the thing is, I thought, I really, really want to make the whole rest of the year, but the year has passed. So I asked Cricut if maybe they could update it, and I didn't really get a response. So I decided that I was going to update it myself, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So you realize, like when you have a calendar from one year to the next, the dates change. Usually they go forward one step, right? So if the 1st of September is on a Wednesday, which it is this year, right? It was yesterday. Last year it would have been on Tuesday, right? So when I was looking at this, I'm like, we got to figure out a way to change out the numbers. First, I thought, well, maybe I could just change the numbers, but then I didn't feel like that was going to work out. So I'm going to show you how I did it. First, I want to, though, start off with a clean slate. I'm going to give you this, by the way, so don't worry. And we're going to start off with a clean slate. So what I needed to do when I was working on this is I needed, obviously, a calendar. And I'm using this calendar so that I can see. So here's 2020 and here's 2021, and then there's 2022. And when I look at September, you see here it shows that Tuesday is the starting date in September, but then you go over here and Wednesday is the date. So let's start off with a clean slate, and we're going to go and look again for those calendars. And we'll go to the Seasoned Calendar 2020, and we'll grab September, which is here. This is September. But while we're looking at that, we need to find a month where it starts on Wednesday, where the month starts on Wednesday. Remember, September is only got 30 days. So let's look. I think there is January and also July. Now I think we'll scoop up January because that will be useful. So we're going to pick both of these, January and September. Although now I'm looking at this, and April, let's do April instead of January. Okay. So while I wait for this to start or to show up, these are very multi-layered calendars. And the first thing that I did was I changed the size because it's not they're not quite 8 inches, and I think 8 inches, it would look really awesome. So while they're still grouped, I changed the size to 8 inches. Okay. And do that before you start ungrouping and peeling away things, because you want every piece to fit correctly, okay? So we're going to just put April aside for a second, and let's have a look at September. I'm going to ungroup it, and you're going to see, as I start to peel away, you're going to see all of these layers. So there is inside the middle calendar, you see? And then up here is sort of the placeholder for the month. And that's 3 layers. And this one is 3 layers as well. Okay. And the way that the calendar looks is that it has this white sort of cutout. And you see that it leaves the space blank for the way that the calendar shows up. We're going to change that a little bit. But I want to just continue to sort of pull this apart. So then we have 1, 2, 3. Is this going to work right? 1, 2, sorry. I don't know why it's kind of jumping around, but okay, so let's go back. So here's the back, and it's got 2 holes here. So there's the basic back. And remember, when we're doing these kind of layers, you then start to pile them in. And it's usually the least cut out, which is the back, and then the next least cut out. And then you start sort of piling them on. When you cut these out, by the way, cut them out under Cricut, the cardstock for intricate cuts, okay? Because these are super intricate, and go slow. Use a good, if you can, use a new blade, use a new mat, and you should have it should cut out easily. But look at how intricate these are. And so, if you wanted to, you could like eliminate 1 or 2, but I think it looks great with all of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these just for the scene. But we're going to focus on the calendar. So we don't need to focus on the month because we're still doing September, but we need to focus on the calendar. So let me just move these all over here. Okay. So we also pulled in at the same time. Let's find the April one. Here we go. There's the April one. Let's get bigger so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so April obviously has its own color and its own little thing. It's the same size though, and that's important. So we're going to ungroup it, and we're going to actually start peeling off these layers. So here is April, and here is April calendar. Okay. So we're doing this because we're updating these calendars. We don't need the rest of this April. We can actually get rid of it, and we can bring this up here just like this. Now we can do one of two things here. I, of course, did it the hard way, which was I decided that I wanted to take this piece and contour out detach it, take out the numbers, and then take this one and switch it. But then I realized, why don't I just change the color on this? Because, so this is what I first did. I detached and I took off the numbers, and then I detached here and just took these numbers and put them over here. And then I started thinking, well, that's kind of dumb. Why don't I just go back and start with this being a calendar of 1st through the 30th. and we just need to change it. So we're going to change the color, and we do that using Color Sync, which is up here on the right hand side. Maybe people don't know about this, so I thought I would show you. So Color Sync is going to show you all the different colors that you have viewable, okay? Viewable on your canvas. So it doesn't include some of the other colors, right? So we have on here all of our September things, which is fine. We need to talk about that anyway. So what we're going to do is take this one, which happens to be this light lavender, and we are going to, hopefully we're going to put it on this one, and let's see if that works. Yep, it does. So does that make sense? We basically took this one and we're going to go back to layers. We don't need this layer anymore. Okay. And then what we're going to do is see if the days of the week, let's arrange that to the front. And the days of the week are slightly different. Okay, let's go arrange to the front. Now we could just take these, but of course I did it the hard way. We could just take these. So I want to show you how I did it with the hard way. Is I decided, well, I'm going to cut out these little squares on here. And so I added a shape, a square, that I then resized to the size of this calendar right here, you see? And then I decided that I was going to cut out these little bits so that my numbers would show, right? So to do that, I had to detach because the days of the week cannot be part of it when you are slicing, which is what I'm going to do. And then I selected this and hit slice. Now that is the hard way. That's the hard way. Okay. So this is how I I did it at first because it's the hard way. But we all know that there are easy ways to do things. And that is, hey, why don't we just use the one from April and change the color? Right? So the white doesn't need to be changed. So we don't need this anymore. So we can just get rid of this. And all we need to do is change the color of this to some sort of pumpkin colored. That's what it was, right? So we're just going to go up here. Next to operation, you see that the color is purple. Now this is a 2-layer image. Right here you can see that there's one layer that is the days of the weeks, and then there's the other one that is the actual cutout. So you need to select this layer in order to see this color. Okay? And then we can just choose pumpkin colored. Okay, so now we have successfully changed the September calendar to reflect the 2001 dates, and that was super easy, right? It was super easy. You could do it the hard way, but believe me, you don't want to do it the hard way. But there is one more step before you cut this out, or well, actually 2 steps before you cut this out that I want to point out. And that is with Color Sync is the first one. You'll notice here with Color Sync, you've got some things that are just tiny pieces that are going to be cut out on its own mat. So right here and right here, the calendar pieces are there. One is supposed to be like a gray color and the other one is white. So I don't have a problem with making them both white. So I'm going to move that small piece there. And that way I have at least 2 cutouts on a sheet of paper. And then the other one is this background and this color, the calendar color. So now I have moved it so that it's only 6 sheets of paper that's cutting out. Okay, 6 pieces of paper. So we've got like kind of a yellow, a brown, a darker brown, and then pumpkin, and sort of like burgundy color and white. So we need to just gather together 6 pieces of paper. 8.5 by 11 will do. That's why I liked having it be 8 inches wide. But if you wanted to make it bigger, you might need 12 by 12 inch paper. So keep that in mind. So then when we go to make it, we are going, this is my second tip on this. We are going to see that in some cases, like this case, we have this piece, it's going to be bigger than the 8.5 by 11. It might work if we position the 8.5 by 11 on this margin here. So that might work. Keep that in mind. And then you end up with these sorts of things. So you have one big cutout and then one tiny cutout. There's nothing saying you cannot do this to save paper. Move those pieces into each other so that they are saving space. Same here with September. Move it over. And this one is just a plain cutout. And so the only one that you need to worry about for 8.5 by 11 inch paper is, and you could technically do it, but if you wanted to be sure, you could either create its own mat, or you could use 12 by 12 inch paper. So I've done it either way, but I just want to show you how to create a mat if you're not going to get it all on that paper. So this is not going to fit on my 8.5 by 11. Let's just say that, okay? So we're going to click on the item that we need to move, and we're going to touch on these triple dots. When you touch on that, you'll see that you have two objects. You have, two choices, move object or hide selected. So I'm going to choose move object. But in this case, I'm not moving the object to another color. I am going to actually choose new mat, and I will choose the same color, which is fine, and now it appears on its own mat. You see over here on left-hand side, instead of 7, I now have 8. Okay, so that's how you move. And by the way, if you make a mistake and you want to move it back and you decide, heck, I just want to use 12 by 12 inch paper, then you can move it back. You can move it anywhere you like. You just touch on those 3 dots and you do move object, either do a new mat or to another mat, to its own mat, that's a new mat, or to another one. Okay. Okay, so that's how you would arrange things so you could save your paper. By the way, with this one, these browns, I cut them out in two slightly different color browns because I had that and I thought it would give it some dimension. And then when we go to cut this, we are going to cut this on cardstock for intricate cuts. If you're not familiar with this setting, you should make yourself familiar with it if you are trying to break into the cardstock game. And so you're going to go to cardstock. All I did was look at all materials, browse all materials, and cardstock is the second category. And you'll see at the very top, it says cardstock for intricate cuts. Normally I would cut on light, medium, or heavy cardstock, but when I have something that's going to be this intricate, I like to use this intricate cut setting. What it does is it actually slows down the machine and it cuts it twice at a very a shallow angle the first time and then all the way through the second time. And that's how it gets around intricate cuts. If you've had problems with intricate cuts, this is the one you want to be doing. Okay? So then you would just cut these all out. Now you would go ahead and make those changes. Let's cancel this and go back. So if you wanted to do this with October, November, December, it's the same thing that I just did, which was I was just taking out this calendar piece and replacing it with another calendar piece. So you'd go and work your way through this. So October, here's October, and let me see, where's my calendar? Sorry, here's my calendar. October this year falls, October 1st falls on, they had this problem yesterday. Falls on a Friday. So then I would look for the calendar that fell on a Friday, and May does. Okay? So there's May, and I would go through that whole thing again. All right? I love October. Yeah. So let me, this is basically the same situation. I'm going to give you the file. Actually, I posted the file yesterday. So if you want, just go and grab it. And you'll have 4 files. If you want, you'll have September, October, November, December. If you want further than that, if you want January, February, March, April, I can do them and post those links for them. But I think when you start to do this, you'll probably just do a few months at a time, because it can be pretty time consuming to cut out. So that's why I did it that way. So let me move you down so you can see how these go together and what we do to put them together. So I put together September, October, and November and December. And these are this one I already glued. There's the back, and then there was this light brown, and then this sort of medium brown. I already glued those on. And for the month, we're just going to have a three what do you call it? A 3 layer, and then there is our calendar, right? So we're going to put that there, but we also have these 3 layers that need to get in there. So let's do those layers first. I'm going to be using my Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, and I'm using the one with the tip, the ultra fine tip. Also wanted to mention, I was able to locate, I want to show it to you. I was able to locate this little treasure. It is a small pack. I think I paid $5 on Amazon. I can put it on with you. I have no idea what all this other stuff is in it, because it's just really quite odd. I don't know. There's like a little piece of fabric. There's a spoon, and then there are these 4 squares of glossy cardstock. Don't know what that is, but the treasure is I was able to get 6 steel pins that will not rust for when I wanted to put that in there for the glue, so I wouldn't have rusting, and in case I lost my pins. I will put that on the description where I got it, which was Amazon. I have no idea what this other stuff is for. Maybe it's just sort of fun playthings. Remember these little spoons you would give to, we had a Baby Alive. Do you guys remember Baby Alive? She'd have a spoon like that. It was a doll that could eat food. So anyway, I got these new pins. I'm going to figure out a way to make these, because I went on Etsy looking for this pin holder. It's like, and they were all $10, and I'm like, I'm not paying $10 for a thing, so I will not forget my pin, you see. But I will figure out a way to notice it, because sometimes it just sort of ends up getting lost in the shuffle. Okay, so there really isn't much to talk about here, except that what we're going to do is we're going to start layering this. So here I already layered these 3, and then I'm going to look at my screen to make sure which layer goes next over. I start from the back, and I'm going to use my ultra tip and get it on all of these pieces. Don't use a lot of glue here. You don't want it to squish out and onto your little work of art, onto your calendar. So you want to go easy, but the pieces that might stick up, you definitely have to pop a tiny bit of glue onto. So then flip it over, and we are just going to line it up. It sounds easier than it is. Sometimes you have to really play with it before the glue dries, which is why I like using liquid glue, so that it goes on there, because we're hiding the layer, the next layer, right? So there's that, and then let's do this one. And around the corners. All right. Does anybody notice that now, it used to be Amazon, everything you'd get from Amazon, it was like at your doorstep the exact next day, or sometimes the same day. And now it's like, oh, your order's been delayed, and sometimes things just take way much longer. So last night I actually opened 3 packages that I ordered last week, the middle of last week, and I almost forgot that I ordered these things. And it's like they trained us to be expecting it the next day, and when it didn't come, I was like, oh, okay. And then it finally came, and I was like, did I even order this stuff? But I want to show you what I did order, because it's really kind of cool. So after we finish this up, I'll show you what I ordered. So this is just a gluing thing. Make sure you line it up, though, because you want to make sure you don't see that other color. I mean, you might see a little tiny bit, like right here, but for the most part, and you see how it's starting to layer. So pretty, 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 pretty. And then our last layer going on here, and then we'll do the calendar part. We'll put the calendar on. So I might have mentioned last week, I don't even recall, but I was waiting on some new dewdrop little stamp pads from Tsuneko. I think that's how you say it, Tsuneko. It's a Japanese name, and I am probably murdering it. But I was waiting and waiting on them because they were really cool, and I was like, I want to do some inking with these, and it took over a week, and then so my interest sort of passed. That's kind of what happens to me, so I gotta get my interest back. And then we're gonna put this one on here. If you have to, go back to and like reposition some of these pieces. So like right here, you might want to put just a couple little drops of glue right there. And then we'll just do the month. So the month is this little piece with September, and then this around it. There are also these little falling leaves that I'll show you. that you can place wherever you'd like. When I was cutting these out, there were a couple of, like in December, there were a couple of layers that were so thin and intricate. Not all the pieces sort of were connected. So keep that in mind when you're taking it off the mat if you decide you're going to cut out all of these. And September was with these little maple leaves. So what they suggested is putting them all like around here, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take and put these little leaves that I cut. Maple leaf, stay on there. Oops. And there is a little pickup tool, which I can't find mine right now, but I actually ordered like several of them, so I have no idea where all of them are at this point. But when in a pinch, I use my weeding tool. Okay, and then we just go and put our September on there, and we are done with September. Isn't that beautiful? I like this size. Oops, my leaf fell off here. I like this size, which is an 8-inch wide size, because I can use 8.5 by 11. And when I made it smaller, you see I made it significantly smaller here. When I made it this size, I thought the details were way too small. I mean, even with an ultra tip, I still had a hard time with it. And so I decided to make it bigger. Okay, so that is that. I have the rest of my months over here, and I'll put those together. But I'm going to take a few minutes to just show you these goodies, to just kind of get you interested in them. And sorry, I am a bad influence, but if I'm going there, you guys are too. Do you like my Aladdin lunchbox? This is actually my lunchbox from when I was a kid. I cannot believe it. My father had saved it, and I was able to rescue it when they were cleaning out his workspace. So you've seen me work with these things. These are called dewdrops, and this is by a company called, I'm going to say it wrong, Sukaneko. I'm probably saying it wrong. But so these ones are the chalk ones, but I was on Amazon and I saw these ones that are pearlescent. So there are like 3 or 4 different groupings. One was greens, and then there was another one, but they're pearlescent. And then while I was there, I found these amazing, look at these. They're so super soft. I don't know if they were supposed to be for makeup, but these are actually brushes, and they're so super soft, super, super soft. And they come in a whole bunch of sizes down to these little teeny tiny ones. And I think, I'm not really sure, I'll have to check on the price, but I think that I got these for like $8. All of them for $8. I'm gonna have to check, but it definitely, they weren't expensive, or otherwise I wouldn't have purchased them. So I want to just show you how they work, because they're really, really cool. And let me get a sheet of cardstock. So here's some white cardstock, and let's open up this. I haven't opened it up yet. Ugh. I'm going to keep these in the package like this. I might cut off the name or whatever. But so here's a pink, pink, like a lavender. This is called pearlescent purple. There's the lavender, and this one is called sky blue. And they open up like this, and they also, if you take this off, they can stand up. I've never needed to have them stand up before, but there you go. So this is what they look like. This is Pigment Ink on here. So Pigment Ink is a little different than the ink from when you were like a kid and had ink pads, because it takes a little bit longer for it to dry, and it stays on. It gives a different kind of a finish. It's also pearlescent, so it will look kind of shiny and not glittery, but pearly. So I'm going to take this, and this is what I did. I just sort of circled and patted onto this brush like this, and sort of get all the ink in there. And then I just did this. Isn't that awesome? And I'm like, all the ink is on there, and I can use like these little tiny brushes as well. And I'll get up close so you can see. But this to me was like, ooh, now I want to stamp. And Pigment Ink is great because it's great. You can emboss with it. So remember we did embossing? But look at how it creates this beautiful sort of ethereal coloring here. Let's get you close so you can see. Isn't that really pretty? And it does have like a pearlescent to it. These also, you don't have to use these for that. They also can be used with stamps. And so I wanted to show you just real quick with these stamps. Every day might not be good, but there is something good in every day. So this is what you would do if you wanted to get into stamps. You can buy them like this. You peel them off. You stick them to an acrylic block like this, and try to line them up so that you have it not crooked. So like that. Then you would take your pad and sort of pounce it on the bottom of, you see that? It's like that. And then press, do not rock, but press down, and there is our sentiment in this cutesy pearlescent color. Isn't that great? So I just wanted to make you aware of some of these really fun doodads or gadgets. I'm not going to get off on that tangent, so don't worry about that, but I do want to show you ways that you can take your your card making or your paper making things to a new level. And so just kind of wanted to show you. There are people on YouTube that do this exclusively, as well as I think Sandra said she does this as well. So don't just rely on me. If you want to find out more about this stuff, go on YouTube and you'll find it there. That is gonna do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the program of reworking these calendars. I hope you'll join me tomorrow when we do our free autumn takeout box. Let's go back there so you can see it in case you joined us late. We are going to do, for Freebie Friday, we're doing this. It's an autumn takeout box. It's free. We're going to do a few variations, very cute and easy to put together. And then for Saturday, for 3D date night, we're going to be making these pumpkins, these rather large pumpkins out of paper. It's really fun. And this is a paid file. You have to pay $5, or you can buy it as part of the kit. Well worth it at $9.99. So this is at SVG Cuts, and tomorrow's the freebie is from Simply Crafty SVGs. So I hope you will join us for both of those classes. Thank you so much for coming today. I really do appreciate your time. And I hope that you enjoyed it too. And we will see you again tomorrow for another episode of Cricut Chat with Miss Rita. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. It's a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I'm actually going to make those pumpkins in, I'm going to do a black one this year. And then I'm going to glitter one, I think. I think I'll end up making, I usually end up making like 4 of them and giving them away. So I want to do one in turquoise as well. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.